you couldn't wear it on TV. We've got a lot of basketball to talk about. We also, who's coming on the show later, Chandler?
Coach of the Year, Jamie Bickerstaff.
There we go. But first, of course, the Lakers. A nice little win over Philly, 112-108. LeBron had 29, 7, and 6. Y'all were worried. Luka with 31, 15, and 11. Reeves had his 11, 3 of 16. Ooh. But as far as regular season games go, it was like everybody was there. So you had your basic full lineups, which is a little bit shocking in the year 2025. And then LeBron James took over and blew up all the social media. Had 12 points in the fourth quarter, including a game-sealing steal. That's really hard to say. Chandler, I'll start with you. What'd you see this time with LeBron?
Yeah, this was nice to see. And I was the guy last week that said that was the first time I had seen him look his age, and that's because he did. Now, this was a completely different version of him. And on a night where Austin Reeves, who's been so good and so consistent all season long, he struggled. And LeBron James was able to kind of make up the slack there and to see the vintage, rewind the clock back. Like, you shouldn't be able to do these type of things at his age. And just big plays. This was an insane shot. And I think most nights he's still going to be that facilitator. He's still going to be that point forward, get everyone involved. But it's good to know, as a franchise, as a teammate, if there was any doubt, there's no doubt, because this guy can still do it all. It's going to be something different for him every single night. And when his numbers called like this, when Austin Reeves struggles, when Luka's out or struggles, you can still count on LeBron James to be LeBron James.
Yep. You know what? When I saw this game, it made me think, because if you stick around long enough in your career and you get into the year 15s and the 20s, it's like your clock resets and you have something to prove again. It's like it re-energizes your battery, because now people are saying, oh, you look human, you don't have it no more. And so now it's a game inside of a game to start proving something to yourself again. So after LeBron ended his streak, I wanted to see how he responded, and he responded exactly in the way that I thought he was. He wanted to have a big game, and he wanted to prove something to his doubters, himself as well, and just say, yo, I still got a lot of game. I still got a lot left to give to the game. So it was good to see him go off in the fourth quarter like that. He did every celebration he had in his repertoire. But that shows you his excitement. That shows you that, listen, my fire is still burning, and I still want to be the guy. I still want to be LeBron James. I don't want to limp out of this game. I still want to be respected and highly coveted, from these fans and everybody that pays attention to basketball. So it was great to see him go off like that. Look, crown.
Did he hit the too small?
Then he hit he hit the too small. He had them all out last night.
Feeling himself.
I couldn't agree more. This game last night made me a lot more comfortable with the situation.
Okay.
There's been a lot of chatter as far as trying to figure out what the fit would be with LeBron with this group. But for me, I look at it in a different way. I look at it as, this isn't a season where LeBron has to go out and show out every single night. This is a season where he can kind of, not necessarily coast, but, play the back end or whatever the case may be when it comes to games each night. So obviously this was a game where he had to step up in the presence of Reeves, who kind of struggled that night. But I love this version of LeBron. I think this keeps him fresh when we go into the playoffs. I think this keeps him healthy throughout the season. So I'm not mad at this scenario, but it has been a lot of chatter figuring out, what's it going to look like moving forward. But I think this was a great example.
I mean, he did tell everybody, I'm not quite there yet. I haven't had any time.
And we've had no reason, really, besides that one game, which I think was his 5th game of the season, to kind of see a little step slow and a little, and again, even to see this last night, it shows you that he's still more than capable. Any given night, he can have a different role. And I think most nights, like I said, I think he's going to be that facilitator. But the fact that they have that third playmaker that's always going to be a threat. Like, when you scout the Lakers, you're still scouting LeBron James to do things like this. So it's not like anything's changed when planning to, play against them. But to see that him go off like this and still have that much fun with all the celebrations and with all the excitement at this age and stature of his career in December in a regular season game, like, it's awesome to see.
Real game.
And it's also, like Lou said earlier, it's also great to see that fire. Like, I do think all the chatter has kind of, sparked that fire within him again. It is something now that he may want to prove to the world, like, I am still LeBron James. I am going to go out on top. So, just to be able
he
to,
hears all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to see this late in his career, he's still playing with that amount of fire, that amount of, charisma and all the other things that come with it. I think it's great for the game, and it's great to see.
That dunk is awesome. Could you do that? Like,
No,
it's
not when I was 25.
That's kind of fun to watch. I watched that dunk over and over again. Luka was back as well, recording his 49th 30-point triple-double. He's now number 2 behind only Oscar Robertson. By the way, who has 106. So he's got a little ways to go. And I'm wondering, can he catch him? Can he get to 106?
You don't think so?
No, listen, he's halfway there now. And how long has it taken him to get here? You know what I mean? Like, 30-point triple-doubles isn't something that happens every day, and it doesn't happen very often. You got a very small group of guys that are even qualified to have this conversation, and it's only about, 3 or 4 of these guys, and LeBron, Westbrook, Jokic, and Oscar Robertson, all of the active guys, he's beating them, and the guy that he's chasing, has over another half for him to get to. So that's a high number to try to get to. I'm curious to know how long it took Oscar Robertson to get there. But if you're asking me, do I think he'd catch him with 30-point triple-doubles at 49? That's a ton. 106 is a ton. I don't know if he makes it.
No.
But who am I to have this conversation? I don't have one.
So well, whatever.
I'm going to say he does it. I think he's so good offensively. I think he's always going to be the number 1 option. His usage rate's always going to be through the roof. He's going to have the ball in his hands. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity the next 5 to 8 years, barring, him being healthy. I think he does it.
I'm going with you, Chandler. I think so as well. With the way, modern-day basketball is played, at all times it's 4 shooters on the floor with the playmaker. I think that's also why, it's not such a rare thing in today's game to get a triple-double because of the way the offenses are set up. So
even the 30 points.
I was going to ask,
I'm just saying that the 30s.
No, SGA said he had like 30 one night. And they were just talking to his boys, and he said he had a bad game. And I was like, no, because he was 5 points under his average when he had 30 points. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if
cool?
I got,
it's still cool, but I'm just saying it's
just a different time.
That's my thing, though. Scorer's mentality. If I got 30, I'm trying to go get 40. I ain't passing the ball 10 assists worth of times.
Yeah, but he's got the damn ball in his hands all game long.
Well, this is a starting point guard.
Yeah, he's gonna have the ball in his hands all game long. But for y'all to ask me, is he going to do this 57 more times with a 30?
By the end of his career?
That's a lot.
Absolutely.
We talking not triple doubles.
I get 30-point triple doubles. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he breaks it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang. Okay.
I hope we know each other long enough to see it. We know it.
This show will be in year 12. He'll get it.
Oh, I love that
winning
awards. Look at winning awards. I love it. Also, all of that.
Gotta manifest.
I know, that's what they say. So Philly, we mentioned, had a full lineup minus Kelly Oubre, but that's kind of a big deal in this day and age. And you got to see a little bit out of everybody that you want to see. That being said, I'm wondering now that you've seen them, Lou, all together the way we got to, is Philly a middle of the pack team? Or what is the ceiling?
Right now, and I don't really think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
I think they still have room for an improvement, and they still got room to get better. So I don't think it's a bad thing to label them as a middle of the pack team, right? But when it comes to the Sixers, we still, when it comes to Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid, we still haven't seen a run of games where you can say, okay, this trio is real, and they're going to put some real pressure on the Eastern Conference, and they're going to make a title run. Until they put one of those together, they look like a better basketball team than they were last year by leaps and bounds. They look tremendous, and I like how they're built, and they're competing, right? But if you look at the record, and if you look at everything that they've done with all the talent they have, that's a 50-50 team. That's a 500 basketball team, right? So if you're asking me, have I seen anything from the Sixers that jumps out at me to say they're a 1, they're a 2, they're a perennial team in the Eastern Conference that teams are going to have to deal with, we haven't seen that consistency. So for that reason, I still feel like they're a middle of the pack team. But with them being in the middle of the pack, that leaves a lot of room for them to get better and better, and I think they will.
Yeah, and think about, they are a middle of the pack team right now, but like Lou said, I think there's room to grow here. When you look at Joel Embiid, I don't think he's going to be that dominant MVP player that he once was, but I think he's going to continue to get healthy and be better than he was last night, especially just the way he moves. And he's averaging 25 minutes a game, 18, 6, and 3. That's not the Joel Embiid that we're accustomed to. Same with Paul George, and same with Jared McCain. He still hasn't got his legs back. Now they struck gold with VJ Edgecombe. Tyrese Maxey is a bad dude. So they have this backcourt now, and Jared McCain, again, I think he's going to get back to where he was last year, where he was running away with Rookie of the Year before his injuries. And it all depends on how good and healthy can Paul George and Joel Embiid be. But I do think there's room to grow here and for them to get better.
And you know what? In another little thing, they're in 7th place right now. they can't be mad at us for saying they want to be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they are
for
what
them
they
to
are.
get to a 4 and a 5, that'll be an accomplishment right now for this team. But they have one big caveat that's always been an issue for the 76ers. Staying healthy. If they can continue to keep everybody on the floor, I think they improve this by 2 or 3 spots in the East for sure.
Yeah.
If they can keep everybody in uniform.
Boogie, talk to me about Joel Embiid. Obviously, that name will always carry a certain amount of gravitas, but we're all getting older. We know his injury situation and what we look at when we talk about Joel Embiid. Like, how do we view him now as fans of this game? I know he's a former MVP, but who is he now?
I think he's still Joel Embiid. He's just unhealthy, and that's unfortunate. I've been, on record saying that I do feel he needs to drop more weight. I think that's something that's going to continue to, keep him in this place of unhealthiness. The game isn't, built to be, this big, brolic player anymore. So I think him dropping weight will help his health situations tremendously. So I still think he has a lot of game left. Obviously, I think he's at the point in his career where he may have to reinvent himself. He may not be that 30-point-per-game scorer no more. But what's stopping him from being a 20-10 guy? You know what I mean? So I think he still has a lot of life left in this game. It's just about figuring out who he wants to be moving forward. He can still contribute to winning. He can still help this Sixers team move forward, make the playoffs, and, retire, whatever the case may be when that time comes for him. But I still see a lot of life left in his career. It's just depending on how he wants to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if 18 points is your career low,
Right.
Like,
that's his career.
People getting paid off 18. So
I think 18 is my career high. So listen,
I think I ever average 18.
yeah, if 18 is your career low, you got
cozy.
a lot of places. But I agree with what Boogie is saying. I agree with what Boogie is saying. He just doesn't look like himself. He doesn't
We've
look like
seen-
the
yeah,
he doesn't
we
look
know.
like the Joel Embiid we're accustomed to seeing. Now, can he play better? Can he be more efficient? Absolutely. But 18 points a game being his career low, you're still getting some good production out of your starting center at that position and at those averages. But we've seen him be so dominant. That's why we're still critical of where he is. But it's obvious to see that he's still not himself and he's still not as healthy as that he is allowing him to be.
Is it better to be great once, but then you always are going downhill, or to just always have been average?
Well, I think that. Oh, well, that's a fair question, but I just think it's inevitable that, like, the Chris Pauls, the Russ, the Joel. It's hard to sustain that level
course.
of greatness. Even LeBron James right now. Like, think about it, it's just different. So I think when you're that good and you've had that much success, and now in your current state, I think you still just play him. You take whatever he can get from you. You still have to scout. Like we just talked about LeBron.
That's true.
You still have to scout him. You still have to double team him if he's one-on-one on the block. Like, you still have to respect Joel Embiid 1,000%. So I hate when I see, are they better without him? Or like, should they just
It's
sit
just
him
a
down?
funny
It's like,
question, I
stop. No, they are not better without him. And what, they're better with Andre Drummond? Like, no disrespect to him. Like, they're not. Like, this is Joel Embiid.
Can I
we're talking
defend
about.
the question, though? Can I defend the question? When you were just watching games night after night after night, and there's a big star that's not out. I mean, you could look at the Grizzlies for a second, and they just seem to be better without. Then you're gonna say, are they better without the superstar?
Because people don't understand the small nuances of what goes into that. You got a guy that's filling in that's going to have extended minutes, so you're seeing a motivated version of him. You're seeing a motivated version of his teammates because they want to also prove that we can withstand without him in it. So sometimes you kind of see a false security of a team that's usually not there, because when I got Joel in the lineup, I can relax a little bit. Big fella with us tonight.
Fair.
But when he's out of the lineup, we got to be tight. We got to be sharp. We can't afford it because we got 18 career low points on the bench right now when that can turn into 40 at any given moment. So you see the best versions of guys when your star players go out. So sometimes it can be fool's gold and sometimes it can be legitimate as well.
Yeah, and just by simply being on the floor, other guys are getting guarded differently.
That's
so
fair.
it's just the impact he has. Just being out there
Spacing.
helps.
Devil's
Yeah.
advocate over here sitting on the end. Orlando, out in New York. It's fun. This is fun. Knicks with a win on this one, 106-100. Jalen